anyone else needs to call the ground for USOS during the PAO, they can call on 3. Station, this is Houston. Are you ready for the event?
Houston, this is Station. We are ready for the event.
Houston ACR, this is Mission Control Houston. Please call Station for a voice check.
Station, this is Houston ACR. How do you hear me?
Houston ACR, this is Station. We have you loud and clear. How us?
I got you loud and clear as well. Please stand by for opening remarks.
Hello and welcome. I'm Dr. Naya Hamlet, Superintendent of Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. I'm so excited to introduce you to our school district right here in the Tar Heel state of North Carolina, where our core values are engagement, social justice action, wellness, collective efficacy, and joy. I can't think of a more joyous occasion than to introduce you to our students who will be communicating with astronauts aboard the International Space Station. And with that, here's our first question.
Hi, my name's Alicia. My question is, how would you describe space?
Hi, Delisha, and also hi, Dr. Hamlet, and to all the students of the Chapel Hill area. Welcome to the International Space Station. Well, I'll tell you, I think I would describe space as both beautiful and unforgiving. It's absolutely gorgeous, the views we get of our planet Earth. And also when you look up and just see the blackness of space, it's pretty remarkable. But it's also easy to forget when you're looking at those beautiful scenes that this is an environment where we just absolutely cannot live unless we have the exact same conditions that we have on Earth. And so it takes a lot of very precise math and an amazing team of ground support that keeps us in space up here. And the fact that we've been doing this for 23 years in this environment is pretty remarkable.
My name is Stella, and my question is, can plants grow in space?
Hi. Yes, you can grow plants in space, and we've been growing plants in space for years now. Plants play an incredibly important role on the Earth. Not only do they provide us with food and nutrients, but they also use the carbon dioxide that we breathe out and produce the oxygen that we require to live. And so we would love to take advantage of some of those properties here in space first. And so we're testing to see if we can grow plants that we can eat in the future when we return to the moon, and perhaps in the future travel on to Mars. And maybe one day we can even incorporate plants into our life support systems and help them to, or use them to produce oxygen and remove carbon dioxide from the air on board the space station.
Hi, my name is Davis Canterbury. My question is, how does the space station get more air if the astronauts are breathing it?
Hey, Davis, that's a great question. Like Andy was alluding to, and kind of like I said earlier, it's really important that we maintain the environment just like we do on Earth. And so you're right, we do breathe down our oxygen, so it's really important that we be able to produce more. And the way we do that is through a process called electrolysis. And we basically take water molecules and we break them up into both hydrogen and the oxygen components. And we use the oxygen component to breathe. And then the hydrogen we either vent overboard or we use it to recycle some of that carbon dioxide that we need to clean out of our air as we breathe out. We produce methane, and that's vented over. And so, yeah, we're constantly reusing the elements that we have here on space station so that we can live here and continue to work 24 hours a day, now going for 23 years.
Hi, my name is Juliet. My question was, what was the craziest thing that ever happened on the International Space Station?
Hi, Julia. Believe it or not, we prefer our days to be as predictable as possible with as few crazy things happening up here. But for me, anytime I go to the window and look out at our beautiful Earth, that is a pretty crazy moment for me, especially when I look down and I can recognize different countries, different features, maybe islands, volcanoes. That's always a very, very special moment. But otherwise, we prefer our days to be as quiet and as predictable as possible.
Hi, my name is JJ, and this is my question. What is the temperature like in space?
Hey, JJ. Well, actually, inside the space station, it's pretty comfortable. We keep it around 72 degrees, so it's pretty nice. But outside the space station, the temperature is constantly changing. So we orbit around the Earth every 90 minutes. And so every 45 minutes, it's either daytime or nighttime. And during the day, when we're in the sun, it can reach upwards of 250 degrees Fahrenheit. At nighttime, when we're in the shadow or without the sun, it drops down to minus 150 degrees. So that's a huge difference. And even things that are made out of metal tend to expand or shrink depending on whether we're in a hot or cold cycle. So lots of stress is being put on the station as we cycle through every 45 minutes, daytime and nighttime.
Hello, my name's JP. Question, what does it feel like at liftoff?
Hey, JP. Liftoff is a very, very special moment. Not only is it the culmination of many years of training, it's what we've been waiting for, but it is also an incredible acceleration. We go from standstill on the launch pad on Earth to going 17,500 miles per hour in orbit about the Earth in less than 9 minutes. And so the rocket really accelerates us up to speed very quickly. And it's a very impressive experience.
I'm Katana Cooper. My question is, what kind of food do you eat?
Hey, Katana. So, yeah, we have different kinds of food. Some of our food comes in little green packets like this, like MREs, military MREs. And this food is pretty much ready to go. Some other food comes in these little white packets, and the white is really just meant to protect it from radiation and temperature changes. And then you open it inside, and you have dehydrated food. And we basically take the water out, and that's just to make it weigh less because it costs a lot of money to launch things into space. And so we get these little packets, and then we add water. So a really interesting part about the water is that, again, remember we recycle everything that we can here in space. And so the urine that we produce every day gets turned into drinking water the next day. And it's a very, very clean process, and it produces perfectly clean water. And so then we inject the water into this, and 10 or 15 minutes later, it's food that's ready to go. But we also have some things that you guys probably recognize, M&Ms, right? And so these come in the same little white packets, and I'm going to open those up. And Andy's going to help me make sure that they don't fly too far away. So the cool thing is you get to play with your food in space, which is a lot of fun.
Hi, my name is Quincy. My question is, how much do you sleep?
Your mic is turned off.
Hey, Quincy. Sleep is incredibly important, both on Earth and in space. to maintain a healthy body and a healthy mind. And so we try to sleep as much in space as we do on ground, which means 7 to 8 hours a night. Usually it's a little bit less here in space, but we try to sleep at least 6 or 7 hours every single night.
Hi, my name is Jessica Chenis. My question is, what do you do for fun?
Hey, Yiska. Well, it is really important to have fun because we do work a lot up here. We work from 7 a.m. to about 7 p.m., but then we have some time off, and usually on the weekends we also have some time off. So a lot of times we'll just hang out with our friends and just kind of spend time together, and that's actually a lot of fun. Playing with our food, like you saw, can be a lot of fun. And then we'll do things like watch movies together. We have a projector up here, and we'll roll out a little screen that we have, and we'll hang out and tie ourselves down so we don't float up and away while we're watching the movie. And we'll hang out and just watch movies together. But yeah, that's about it. Looking out the window is really one of the most fun things you can do up here.
Hi, my name is David Ferrar. My question is, how does a spacesuit protect you?
Hi, Davis. Well, on the other side of these walls, on the outside of the space station, there's vacuum, which means that there's no air at all. Which also means that we humans can't breathe out there. And so a spacesuit has to provide us with everything that we need in order to survive in a vacuum, which means, first of all, it has to provide us with an atmosphere with the proper amount of pressure and, of course, oxygen to breathe. At the same time, the spacesuit has to remove the carbon dioxide that we produce when we exhale, because otherwise we could suffocate on that carbon dioxide. The spacesuit also has to keep us at the right body temperature, which often means removing the body heat that we generate because we're working so hard outside when we're on spacewalks. And so the spacesuit has a lot of different functions to perform in order to keep us alive during a spacewalk.
Hi, I'm Susie Bursley, and I was wondering how you connect with friends and family in space.
Hey, Zuzu. Well, staying in touch with our loved ones is really important to all of us. And so there's several ways that we can do that. We can do video conferences every once in a while. We can do VoIP, or Voice over Internet Protocol, phone calls through the internet, which we have access to most of the time up here. And then all of that is made possible through a network that NASA has of both satellites and ground-based antennas. And basically, our calls go through satellites down to the antennas, get channeled over to Houston, and then from Houston, they go out through telephone lines, just like all the phone calls that you make. And so we're able to stay in touch with family and loved ones almost every day, which is pretty special.
Hi, my name is Judah Tonkin, and I go to McDougall Middle School. My question is, what is the most important part of the space station, and what do you do if it's malfunctioning?
Hey, Judah. Well, that's a very difficult question to answer because there are so many critical components up here. But certainly one of the more important systems is a life support system, which keeps us alive, which basically produces the conditions on board the space station that allow humans to survive up here, which means keeping the air pressure within normal range, the same air pressure as you have on the ground, an oxygen content of around 21%, which is what we need to breathe, and systems to remove carbon dioxide that we produce when we exhale. And of course also ventilators that blow the air around. Something that's very unique about being in space is that when you're weightless, air doesn't mix. So hot air in space doesn't rise because without gravity you don't have buoyancy. And so if we didn't have air conditioners and other ventilators to continuously mix the air up here, everything would just remain where it is, which means that the carbon dioxide that we exhale could form a bubble around our heads, and we could actually suffocate in our sleep, for example. And so we have ventilators that have to mix the air continuously. So there are many, many different critical systems, and we're constantly maintaining them and repairing them if they break down.
Hi,
My name is Kayla, and my question is, what is the process to becoming an astronaut?
Hey, Kayla. Well, those of us that are lucky enough to have this job consider ourselves incredibly blessed. It is a very competitive process, but the very first step is just applying because you never know if you're going to get the job unless you apply. So right now, you currently have to have a master's degree in a STEM field, so science, technology, engineering, and math. And we do require a master's degree in that, but you can also have other experiences like being a teacher or being a military pilot with a certain amount of experience. And all those things combined, really what we're looking for is people who work really well in teams, who are able to handle diverse operational environments and handle those high stress situations well and continue to perform, and somebody who can think on their feet and handle problems. And so if you have those qualities and you have the basic requirements, we would love to someday have you on our team.
Hi, my name is Leela, and my question is, when was your first mission and how did it make you feel?
Hi, Layla. Well, my first mission was in 2015, so 8 years ago now, and it was a dream come true. I've been dreaming of being an astronaut ever since I went to 4th or 5th grade. It's been a lifelong dream of mine, and so for it to finally come true in 2015 was just phenomenal, and I was so excited to be up here. It was a relatively short mission, just 10 days long. This is my second mission. I'll be up here for 6, maybe even 8 months, and it's something that I'm also looking forward to because this time I really get to feel what it means to live and work in space.
Hi, my name is Brecken Harris, and my question is, what are the daily projects and activities you complete in the International Space Station?
Hey, Brecken. Yeah, so one of the most fun things about being up here is that every day is very different. But in general, like I said, we work for about 8 to 10 hours a day. 2 hours, we also do exercise every day because that's really important to maintaining our bone, cardiovascular, and muscular health while we're up here. And then the other times, we're working on science most of the time because this is a national and international laboratory. And so we have a whole variety of different science projects that are constantly running here. If anything breaks, we have to fix it. We do have an amazing ground support team that walks us through every step of the way on how to fix those things. But we're essentially the hands and the eyes for those repair jobs. And then sometimes we just have to replace things because they've reached their age limit. And so between all those different activities, they kind of plan your day every day down to the last minute till we make sure that we optimize our time up here. But the cool thing is, like I said, every day is different and you get to experience a whole lot of new things every day.
Hi, my name is Tate Simone. My question is, what advice can you give to students looking to get into aerospace careers?
Hi, Tate. And I love your question because before becoming an astronaut, I was an aerospace engineer. It's always been a fascination of mine. The best advice I can give you is study physics and math in school. Aerospace engineering and basically anything to do with aerospace is applied physics and applied math. And so a good solid foundation in that is incredibly important. But otherwise, you have so much to look forward to. I truly think it's one of the most exciting careers you can have working in aerospace.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rodney Trice. I am the Deputy Superintendent of the Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools. As we wrap up today's events, I'd like to say a few words of gratitude. It was such a wonderful experience for our students to learn about what astronauts do in space. I know I was inspired, and I know that our students were inspired as well. On behalf of the Chapel Hill Carborough City Schools, I'd like to send a heartfelt thank you to our NASA partners for creating such a wonderful opportunity.
Thank you, Mr. Trice, and thank you to all the students, and we hope to someday see some of you with us up here.
Station, this is Houston ACR. That concludes the event.
Thank you to all participants. Station, we are now resuming operational audio communications.